In 1932, a horror film emerged that would captivate audiences for decades to come. It introduced a terrifying new monster, unlike the typical vampires or werewolves that dominated the genre at the time. This movie marked the birth of something far more sinister, the zombie genre. Despite its significant impact, most people have never even heard of this influential film that reshaped horror cinema. Let's get into it.
Fantasy, sci-fi, nostalgia, rerun zone.
White Zombie, 1932, the birth of the cinematic undead. White Zombie is widely regarded as the first full-length zombie film, marking the birth of a genre that would evolve dramatically over the decades. Unlike the flesh-eating hordes we associate with modern zombies, the undead of early cinema were mindless slaves brought to life through voodoo magic. Rooted in Haitian folklore, these zombies moved slowly and were completely under the control of a sinister master. Bela Lugosi's mesmerizing performance as Murder Legendre, the voodoo master, lent an eerie intensity to the film, solidifying its place in horror history. Though it received mixed reviews upon release, White Zombie captivated audiences in small towns and even gained unexpected popularity in Nazi Germany. Critics noted the film's atmospheric qualities, which overshadowed its low-budget production and occasional stilted acting. White Zombie introduced key tropes, voodoo magic, soulless beings, and themes of control that became the foundation of the zombie genre. By exploring cultural fears about race, class, and power, it set the stage for future films to reimagine and expand the mythos of the undead. Revolt of the Zombies, 1936, expanding the undead universe. 4 years after White Zombie, a new undead tale emerged. This time, the setting shifted from Haiti to Cambodia. Revolt of the Zombies attempted to transplant the zombie myth to a new locale, with mixed results that would divide audiences and critics. Released in 1936, Revolt of the Zombies was intended as a spiritual successor to White Zombie. The filmmakers faced legal issues that prevented them from using the word zombie in marketing, forcing them to get creative with both promotion and storytelling. The film traded Haitian voodoo for a World War I setting, and introduced an Oriental priest with the power to create zombie soldiers. This bold move expanded the zombie mythos beyond its Caribbean roots, but not everyone appreciated the shift. Critics found it less engaging than its predecessor. Despite its mixed reception, Revolt of the Zombies played a crucial role in the evolution of zombie cinema. It demonstrated that the undead could inhabit new settings and storylines, paving the way for future reimaginings of the genre. King of the Zombies, 1941, humor meets horror. Released in May of 1941, King of the Zombies marked a significant shift in the zombie genre by blending horror with comedy. This Monogram Pictures production took inspiration from successful horror comedies like 1940's The Ghostbreakers and advised theaters to promote it similarly, betting on audiences embracing this unique mix of laughs and scares. The film featured Montan Moreland, an African-American actor, in a prominent role as Jefferson. His character provided comic relief amidst the spooky elements, setting King of the Zombies apart from earlier, more serious zombie films. This casting choice was particularly notable given the social climate of the 1940s. While the film's humor might be considered politically incorrect by modern standards, critics like Bruce G. Hallenbeck have noted that Moreland's delivery lends an air of innocence to the material. This interplay between race and comedy further distinguished King of the Zombies from its predecessors, making it a unique entry in the evolving landscape of zombie cinema. Before I get to the next movie, as most of you know, I'm just one guy, 70 years young, putting this all together with a lot of love for classic TV, movies, and cartoons from back in the day. If you enjoy these trips down memory lane, I'd be thrilled if you hit that subscribe button, or even consider becoming a channel member. It's a simple way to keep this passion project going strong, and it means the world to me. Thanks for being a part of this journey. Now, back to the show. I Walked with a Zombie, 1943. Artistry in Horror. I Walked with a Zombie, directed by Jacques Tourneur in 1943, marked a dramatic shift in the zombie genre. The film traded cheap scares for a haunting atmosphere that lingers long after the credits roll. Tourneur's collaboration with RKO Pictures resulted in a psychological depth rarely seen in horror at the time. The film incorporated Caribbean folklore and voodoo elements, adding layers of complexity to the zombie mythos. Instead of mindless shamblers, these zombies became tragic figures, embodying the painful legacy of slavery and colonialism. Tourneur's masterful direction created a world where reality and nightmare blur. I Walked with a Zombie elevated the zombie genre and redefined what horror could be. Its use of cultural narratives to explore deeper societal issues set a new standard. The film's influence echoes through the works of modern masters like Guillermo del Toro and Jordan Peele, who continue to use similar techniques in their storytelling. Plan 9 from Outer Space, 1957. So bad it's good? Plan 9 from Outer Space, directed by Ed Wood, has earned a reputation as one of the worst movies ever made. The central plot is basically a zombie story with aliens reanimating human corpses to do their bidding. This black and white sci-fi horror mashup, created on a $60,000 budget in just a few weeks, is generally remembered for its hilariously amateurish cinematic mistakes. The film's notoriety stems from its numerous production flaws, including cardboard tombstones, visible strings on flying saucers, and the director's decision to replace the deceased Bela Lugosi with his wife's chiropractor holding a cape over his face. However, these very flaws have contributed to its enduring appeal. Despite its shortcomings, Plan 9 has become a beloved cult classic. Audiences appreciate its unintentional humor and the earnest passion Wood poured into every poorly executed scene. The film has inspired countless parodies and homages, cementing its place in cinema history. In an unexpected twist, Ed Wood's spectacular failure has redefined success in the world of film, proving that sometimes the worst can become the most memorable. Night of the Living Dead, 1968, Birth of the Modern Zombie. In 1968, George A. Romero redefined zombie cinema with Night of the Living Dead, transforming the undead from voodoo-controlled slaves into ravenous, apocalyptic creatures. Shot on a shoestring budget in rural Pennsylvania using guerrilla filmmaking techniques, the film's raw, documentary-like style heightened its terrifying realism. Romero drew inspiration from Richard Matheson's I Am Legend to explore how ordinary people might react to a catastrophic collapse of society, moving beyond simple scares to deliver a profound cultural critique. Romero's timing was pivotal. The late 1960s were rife with social unrest, from the civil rights movement to the Vietnam War, and widespread distrust of authority. Casting Dwayne Jones, an African-American actor, as the lead character Ben, was a bold and unprecedented choice, adding layers of racial and social commentary that resonated deeply during a time of significant societal upheaval. The film's graphic violence and explicit gore, including groundbreaking depictions of flesh-eating zombies, shocked audiences and pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable in cinema. Romero's work tapped into the anxieties of his era, creating a new horror subgenre that reflected societal fears while influencing generations of filmmakers. Night of the Living Dead not only birthed the modern zombie, but also reshaped the landscape of horror cinema forever. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, 1972. Horror on a shoestring budget. Bob Clark's 1972 film Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things proved that creativity could overcome budget limitations in horror filmmaking. With just $50,000 and a 14-day shoot, Clark created a cult classic that still captivates audiences today. The film follows a sadistic theater director's attempt to resurrect the dead, leading to disastrous consequences. Despite financial constraints, Clark and his team crafted a surprisingly effective atmosphere, blending horror with dark humor. Alan Ormsby's special effects stood out as particularly impressive, contributing to the overall sense of creepiness and inevitability. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things left a lasting impact on independent horror filmmaking. It demonstrated that with resourcefulness, filmmakers could create compelling, atmospheric horror on a shoestring budget. This approach would inspire countless low-budget horror productions in the years to come, reshaping the landscape of independent filmmaking. Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, 1974. Zombies Go International. Released in 1974, Let Sleeping Corpses Lie took the zombie genre in a bold new direction. This Spanish-Italian collaboration centered its horror on an experimental farming tool using ultrasonic radiation, which inadvertently brings the dead back to life. Director Jorge Grau crafted a film that went beyond mere scares. The police are portrayed as distrustful and prejudiced, reflecting broader societal fears of the 1970s. This added depth to the narrative, making it more than just another zombie flick. The film's impact extended beyond its themes. Special effects artist Gennaro De Rossi pushed the boundaries of gore, setting the stage for the extreme violence that would become a hallmark of Italian horror. The film's achievements were recognized at the Sitges Film Festival, where it won awards for Best Actress and Best Special Effects. Let Sleeping Corpses Lie demonstrated that zombie cinema could be both thought-provoking and viscerally terrifying. Its influence resonated through horror films for years to come, paving the way for a new wave of international zombie movies. However, across the Atlantic, a familiar face was preparing to reclaim his throne as the king of the undead. Dawn of the Dead, 1978, Romero's zombie masterpiece. In 1978, George Romero's trip to a local mall sparked an idea that would shape the future of horror cinema. Dawn of the Dead, the highly anticipated sequel to Night of the Living Dead, took the zombie apocalypse to new heights. With a larger budget and an international co-production deal, Romero crafted a film that would gross $66 million worldwide and secure its place in horror history. The film's genius lay in its blend of visceral horror and social commentary. Set in a suburban shopping mall, the story became a potent metaphor for consumerism. Survivors barricaded themselves inside, while zombies outside mirrored the shoppers they once were, drawn to the mall by some primal instinct. Tom Savini's groundbreaking special effects brought a new level of gore to the screen. The infamous exploding head scene during a SWAT raid pushed the boundaries of what audiences had seen before. To preserve Romero's uncompromising vision, the film was released unrated in the United States, avoiding potential censorship. Zombie Flesh Eaters, 1979, the Italian zombie invasion. In 1979, Italian director Lucio Fulci crafted a scene in Zombie Flesh Eaters that's still considered one of the most disturbing in cinema history. The film pushed the boundaries of graphic violence and innovative special effects, establishing the Italian zombie film subgenre and blending horror with social commentary. The movie's most infamous scene, an eye-gouging sequence, became instantly iconic. Special effects artist Gennaro De Rossi created visceral visuals that had audiences squirming in their seats. Fulci's creativity didn't stop there. He even staged an underwater battle between a zombie and a shark, showcasing his flair for the surreal and unexpected. Zombie Flesh Eaters faced bans in several countries due to its graphic content, but this notoriety only fueled its cult following. The film's success helped kick off a wave of Italian horror films in the late 1970s and early 1980s. It set the stage for the zombie boom that was about to explode across cinema screens worldwide, influencing filmmakers for years to come with its unique blend of shocking visuals and social commentary. From White Zombie's hypnotized workers to Night of the Living Dead's flesh-eating hordes, these films have pushed the boundaries of what's allowed in cinema. Visionaries like George Romero and Lucio Fulci used the undead to challenge our comfort zones and reflect our deeper anxieties. If you agree or disagree, leave your comments below and let me know if I've missed any of your favorite zombie films. This is Rich from Rerun Zone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.